want to study education policy. Why are the students still experiencing this 20 years later? Why did I experience that being a quote unquote gifted scholar in my district and then showing up to private school for high school and not knowing what a thesis statement was? So I wrote
Right.
my graduate school essay on that, my upbringing and my story around educational inequities and how I wanted to work on policy. So that is when I got accepted into Stanford University, and that program was called POSE. It's still around, Policy, Organization, and Leadership Studies. And then from
Mm.
there, I did some other work in other nonprofits, and then I eventually applied to San Jose State University for my doctorate.
That's amazing. What an amazing story. And for me, I've had a lot of different types of folks
Mhm.
on this podcast, and from music to education to business. And
Mm.
one of the things for me, I'm open to different points of view and to diverse schools of thought. But
Mhm.
for me, what's kind of a non-starter or kind of a deal breaker is if you believe that, if you don't believe that if circumstances were different, that the results might be the same, meaning that there's nothing inherently good or bad about any race or gender, only the circumstances. Ultimately, people make their own choices, right? But
Right.
a lot of that, what you mentioned, can be tracked down to circumstances, because we
Absolutely.
struggle with that here in Monterey County. No matter how bright and talented a student might be, they're only at school a certain amount of time. And if
Hmm.
they're going home to a different environment or a lack of support, and a lack of opportunities, then their growth is stunted, so to speak. And so you have some students in private environments who have the resources and maybe they don't have the talent. And then you have some
Right.
students that have the talent but no resources. And you kind of see that play out because the statistics show test scores and entrances to certain institutions that lead to roles in corporate America or in government. I mean,
Yeah.
it's one thing to say there's a bias. It's another thing to be able to prove it with statistics and facts.
Right.
And I know that's part of the work that you do.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. And I'm glad that we're on the same page, because everyone's not on the same page as that.
Right.
Right? It's the approach that, like, you put
As
your
we can
kids up
see
by the
currently.
bootstraps. Those are, other people's children. It's not my responsibility.